Miss your favorite show? Download the podcast at kcaaradio.com.
KCAA.
Live here at KCAA Radio, 1050 AM and 106.5 FM in the IE, or anywhere in the world at kcaaradio.com. You're listening to Highlight One Radio, the show where each week we highlight one musical artist that we believe deserves to be in the spotlight. I am your host, DJ71, and tonight we are featuring a talented blues and soul singer, songwriter, and performer based out of Southern California here. And she's here to talk about her EP, Taking My Time. Please welcome Hilary Watson.
Hello, hello.
How was the drive over?
Easy, actually.
Easy,
yeah.
Perfect.
Right?
SoCal, no traffic?
I left early.
Oh.
I hung out in Redlands for
I can tell you've been in SoCal for a while then.
We know what we're doing.
So anyway, welcome to the show. We're super excited to have you here. I normally have my co-host here, but he is on other business tonight, so shout out to Luis. So I have a few questions for you.
Okay.
We're going to start with, who is Hilary Watson?
Oh, just a small question like that,
Just
right?
a small one.
Well, I mean, you already covered the basics. Soul blues, artist, performer, songwriter.
Awesome.
I live in the mountains of Southern California.
Wonderful.
San Bernardino Mountains. Just recently, actually, within the last year and a half, moved up there. And, yeah, I perform. I write songs. I've got a bunch of nieces and nephews I spend most of my off time with. I bike. What else do you want to know?
Well, I want to give a little background. I first met Hilary when I was DJing a 5K run, and she sang the national anthem. And I'm like, I have to follow this girl. She is incredible. And then 2 years later, or a year later, I did a radio show and one of my first guests.
Here I am. First time I've actually ever sang the national anthem, by the way.
Really?
People had thrown out to me that they were going to ask me, multiple times, but it never came to be. And it was like, I've performed for so many years, but that song, I can't tell you how many times I practiced it. I was nervous. I don't know if you noticed that morning, but I was like,
I didn't.
My little hand was shaking.
It sounded amazing. It was absolutely wonderful, and it clearly stuck with me because you're here, and you didn't mess up the lyrics either.
Well,
it's
that's
so hard
like
to remember
basics.
the order on those songs. I don't
true.
know. That song in particular, for some reason, it's like I mix up the verses, and I've heard of some very prominent people doing the same.
It's a beast of a song. It's a lot. It's like, part of me is like, I want to be Whitney singing the song, but if I sound like I'm trying to be Whitney, you're not going to fill those shoes.
Yeah.
So you got to find your own place.
You
And so many
sounded
people
awesome.
have killed it. It's a great song.
Oh, it's wonderful. Now, tell us a little bit about your musical background.
Well, I mean, that depends how far back you want to go. I was 11, teaching myself guitar with the Beatles anthology book. I had one Beatles anthology, every song by the Beatles, and just the little pictures of the chords, and then I had one blues licks, like how to play blues licks book. And that's what
Oh, wow.
for actually the first few years of me playing guitar, that's all I had. A lot of Beatles, a lot of blues. And then I actually started playing with gospel music in my church
Cool.
back in high school and college. And so I think that's probably where a lot of the soul influence comes from. But I also grew up loving Aretha and Etta James and, all those classics. So, I kind of have this blend of blues and folk and Reba McEntire singing Fancy and all the things. This is melting. Oh, most of us in Southern California, just the melting pot.
Yeah, it's interesting because when I hear your music on your new EP, I previewed a lot of it before the show here, and I was listening, and it's very, how do I describe it? It's very kind of peaceful. It's groovy, but it you threw me a little off a few minutes ago before the show because you're talking about, I love EDM. I'm like. So she has a broad musical taste, which is great because there's so many great types of music out there.
Kind of makes
So-
you confused though, as like, what do I pick?
Yeah.
I love so many things, like, but pretty much I pick whatever I can play, and I'm not.
Yeah.
I'm self-taught, so however I
that's
play
great.
guitar is how I play guitar, and that's kind of like what I'm limited by. So I play whatever I'm able to.
Awesome. So continuing on your background here, what is the first song you remember loving?
Oh
your
my
first
gosh.
favorite song.
My first, well, I mean, the thing that comes to mind, two things come to mind. But my dad sings and plays guitar.
Oh, wonderful.
My dad wrote a song in high school, and it was our like
Oh.
number one requested song in the Watson household. Was my dad to play Red Grass, which was about a mouse dying in the grass outside. But it was like a very funny. But then he would also sing Paul Simon. You Can Call Me Al.
Oh, okay. That's a great song.
I mean, I could have. There probably is
fun.
other ones, but those are the two that I just remember asking him to sing over and over and over and over again. I loved those songs.
That's awesome. Most encounters I hear about a family member playing music in the house is turn that down.
That was my experience playing music. If you were interviewing my
When you're learning.
siblings, then, yeah, that would have been their answer.
Shout out to my mom for listening to me learn River Flows in You on the piano for like a year before I could actually play it. Just every day, just
See, that's the great thing about a guitar. I started out on an electric guitar that was broken,
Ooh.
so
Oh,
it wouldn't
wow.
actually. The
True
electronics
GarageBand
didn't work.
stuff there.
Yeah, but it wouldn't plug into an amp. So
So it's just
electric guitars not plugged
quite
in are
quiet.
mostly silent. Yeah.
the parents gave it to you broken.
Yeah, exactly. Thanks, Mom. Thanks, Dad.
So we talked about your first favorite songs, but what artists are you listening to right now, and what songs? Name some of your favorite like go-to jams right now.
Okay, so I mean, like you said, I have a wide variety of taste. I'm trying to think. Like, there's a local band out of Santa Barbara that I'm obsessed with. They're called Glen Annie, and they are like, it's like Elton John reincarnated. It's just the most fun, but at the same, Elton John is like, and Michael Jackson both have the quality of being like very, you don't know, even as like a very accomplished, if you're an amazing musician, you still are going to admire what they're doing. It's so complicated, it's so amazing, but it's catchy. And I just personally, I admire that if it can be accessible to everyone and still be respected by other musicians, that's awesome. So this band, I think, are just the highest praise to them. I love their music, been all about it. I also I'm a big country music fan, so I love,
Awesome.
like, I've been listening to a lot of Cody Johnson. I like the outlaw kind of stuff. Coulter Wall just came out. Coulter Wall with a brand new
Okay.
album. I don't know if
I'll
you're
have to
into
check that one out. What's his name again?
Coulter Wall.
Coulter Wall.
Yeah, it's like Western. He was, don't quote me. I'm just going to go on the air and say this like it's fact, but I'm pretty sure he was like 16 writing these songs and singing with the voice of like 40-year-old Johnny Cash.
Wow. And don't worry, you wouldn't be the first radio personality to make stuff up.
I love making stuff up. Just
So I was speaking of Elton John. Did you hear his Lockdown Sessions album? He released during
No,
the
I
pandemic.
didn't.
So he did. This man comes back out of the blue. He must have got bored during lockdown because he released the Lockdown Sessions, and he has EDM tracks on there. He did a remake of Rocket Man with Dua Lipa.
Of course he did. Of course he
I
did.
love Elton John. He's awesome.
Greatest of all
I just
time.
had to bring that up.
Oh
Shout
my
out
gosh.
to Elton John. I'm sure he's listening right now.
What if he is? What if that phone just rang right
Yeah.
now?
Is there Elton John here?
Yeah. Oh man.
What are 3 things about the music world and the music industry you have learned in the past 5 years?
Oh my God. These are big questions. What are you doing to me?
You're doing great. Don't worry.
3 things. Okay, 3 things about the music world and the music industry.
It can be either or, just in general. Because I know you've been doing shows and
Sure.
releasing music, recording music, all that good stuff. So I just like to get people's perspectives on that.
Yeah, I mean, it's kind of one of those things where it's like the longer you go, the more you realize you just don't know anything, And I just released this EP, so I was doing all the all the research on like, okay, well, how I started doing music, and I'd record a CD. I'd get that CD in hand, and then I'd go to my shows and I'd sell my CD to whoever wanted to buy it. That's all I did as a musician. And now it's like you put it on the Spotify, the streaming services, and not only you just like put it out there for people to listen to basically for free, but then you have to beg people to listen to it. So then they're like, okay, well, here's the algorithm on Instagram to get anyone to even realize you put anything out. So I feel very uncomfortable standing up as an authority about anything because it's a whole world I don't understand. But I will say, at the end of the day, for me personally, I have found my strength in just getting out and meeting people. If you're going to be an independent artist, go to the venues, go to the places where people are playing and meet. You know, one of the best things I've done in the last year is I've started playing for songwriter nights.
Oh, like kind of like an open mic night, or
no? They're not open mic nights at all. They're actually like songwriter groups that get together. There's like Writers Round is one of them. There's Writers Round San Diego, Writers Round LA, Writers Round. There's kind of these groups around. There's a Writer's Block in LA. I'm playing at Hotel Cafe next month for Writer's Block. Yeah.
Is that a public event?
Like, yeah, anyone can go to that. Anyone can go to that.
Okay. Let's get a little bit of detail on that real quick. Can you name it one more time for us?
That's Writer's Block. And you have a video catching me check my phone for the actual date. Okay, that's October 3rd.
Writer's Block?
Writer's Block.
3rd. And what city will that be in?
The Hotel Cafe is in Los Angeles.
Hotel Cafe. Oh, wow. L.A.
It's one of my favorite venues, actually. I've seen some great performers there, like right at the beginning of their careers. But anyways, so I'm playing these writers where anyone can go, anyone that's a songwriter can go and put their name in the hat to be drawn to play a couple of their songs that night. But then they also have featured rounds where they'll hire people that are out there. This is their job. And they'll have us kind of like Bluebird Cafe style, Nashville style. You sit in a round, 2 other people on stage, and you just each play a song and you kind of talk about your songs.
That's a lot of fun. I gotta look into those kind of things.
You should, because I think that's where you just like, you meet the people that are doing it. You meet people that actually are really love music. They still love just that person and their guitar writing songs, and I think that the audiophile or the song lovers, the music lovers are still out there, and finding a way to connect with them circumventing social media is my personal favorite way to go.
That's really smart. It reminds me of something I learned from I got a master class from my favorite musician, Deadmau5. He's the EDM guy.
Oh my god. Yeah, I love that you just explained who Deadmau5 is to me. What the heck?
I have the full-size Deadmau5 head prop. That's how big of a fan I am. Shout out to my sisters for getting me that for my birthday a couple years ago. But he talks about how people spam his Instagram because he has a record label called Mousetrap, and people spam his Instagram. Listen to my song. But then like Skrillex got famous largely in part through Mousetrap, and he actually walked up to Deadmau5. He met him backstage somewhere. He got like a VIP ticket. I don't know exactly how they met, but I might be making stuff up too. But he handed him a flash drive and actually like introduced himself. And same thing with another artist called Rez. She like had like a whole album prepared. It wasn't just listen to my song. So going out and networking, if you actually go and introduce yourself to like a record shop and say, hey, will you put my CDs up for $2?
Absolutely.
They're a lot more likely to do it.
Talking to the people that are listening to your music,
networking.
Like, just literally face to face with people. I think is the best way.
It's more personal.
I don't know. Yeah.
I got a story for you guys.
Yes.
The artist Big Sean.
Yeah, we know Big Sean.
Yeah. He's a rapper. let me explain him to you. But he got signed to Kanye West's label when he first came up. But same thing. It was waiting for him outside of his hotel, and he knew he was there, and then just did a freestyle for him.
Oh wow!
Yeah,
that's
and
awesome.
then he's like, you know what? You're signed.
Yep.
Here's my information.
Yep.
So being for face to face.
Face to face.
Yep. Goes a longer way than social media.
Absolutely. I mean, people make great careers through social media. I just don't know how to do it. So I'm gonna go meet people.
It's hard. It's great to go meet people. You're more likely to make an impact on someone if they're not just scrolling through their feed and they see another up and coming artists, scroll through their feed. If you actually go and introduce yourself, it sits with people.
Yeah.
So you mentioned your EP briefly, but you have a new EP called Taking My Time.
Yes.
So let's start with the name. Why Taking My Time?
Well, it's the title track. So there's a track called Taking My Time. It's kind of like the theme song of my life. I feel like I'm always 2 steps behind everyone else in life. I feel like every time people have something figured out, I'll get there within 2 years. Yeah, and I don't know any other way to live. And I wrote this song called "Taking My Time" one day, just being like, I've always had to move at my own pace. I don't have any other choice. It's just who I am. And I finally, in my 30s, came to this place where I'm like, that's okay. I'm okay with this. This is who I am.
That's perfect. It's better to embrace kind of strategic timeline, and you don't have to rush things, because if you release a bunch of crap, it's harder to get traction. I've personally released songs and then later been like, why did I release that song sounds like it was made in 20 minutes, and I'm like, well, it kind of was. But I'm like, I'm gonna release it, and then it's like it doesn't gain traction. So it's better to take your time,
Yeah, see, you're saying that in like a positive way, like putting intention and time into working towards something. I'm like, I'm like missing the bus.
Oh, okay. I misunderstood. Okay.
I mean, maybe it's a mix of both. I'll give myself a little credit. Could be a mix of both. But no, I wrote the song in the sense of there's just people that are always going to march to the beat of their own drum. They're going to move at their own pace, and they don't have any choice in the matter. And those are the people that sometimes I relate best to, because that's who I am.
Okay. So our first song we have on our list here is called "Stick Around."
Mm-hmm.
Now, would you like to introduce it before we go ahead and play it?
Stick Around is funky. Stick Around is, I've got this insane horn section and this intro that just like makes it snappy from the beginning, and that I love. Lyric wise for me, it's just it's kind of that when you're in that relationship and one person is 1 foot up in the door, 1 foot out, kind of that feeling of like, hey, make up your mind, But it's fun. I love this song.
Okay, so here we go. First song will be "Stick Around" by Hilary Watson. And that was Stick Around by Hilary Watson here on KCAA Radio, 1050 AM, 106.5 FM in the IE, or anywhere in the world at kcaaradio.com. Wow. That was awesome. It sounds
Thanks.
so clean. The vocals are amazing.
Thank you.
That really impressed me. And that I have to bring up a question. I love the behind the scenes stuff because I make music, for fun. And can you drive me through the workflow a little bit on how you make and record tracks? Like what your process is, who works with you?
Well, the producer of this album was Omar Velasco. If you don't know him, you should. He's not only a fantastic producer, but he also is a songwriter and performer himself.
Oh, wow. Can you repeat his name for us?
Omar Velasco.
Omar Velasco. I will be looking into him because he did a great job on the production.
He's amazing. Actually, so years ago, I was in a duo with my best friend, who I'm still best friends. We still play together.
Awesome.
Kate, if you're listening. No, I didn't mean that by years ago. We still play. But years ago, we made an album together. The first album we ever made together, we were talking about like who we wanted to produce this, who should we work with, and we just couldn't. We didn't even know where to start with that. But there was one album that was on repeat during our tours, and it was this little 5-song EP by a local artist she knew named Omar Velasco, and his songs were just. We just loved them. It was the kind of things where you knew every word to that album. In fact, we went to see him play in Santa Barbara one night, and he forgot the words to one of his own songs, and we were sitting in the front row singing them so loudly that he looked at us and was like, "Oh,
you filled in
thank
for
you,
him."
yeah, for reminding me." So we were just obsessed, and just through long story short, ended up connected to him somehow, and we worked with him on our first CD we ever made. So then cut to 10 years later, and that CD, it was just an incredible process. He's one of those guys that he's an artist himself, so I think he knows how to create an environment. It's peaceful. It's like free. You have the freedom to like try something, and if it's not cool, he's not going to make fun of you. He's going to like laugh and like, it's going to be fun.
That's great.
Exactly. Just an amazing human all around. Well, we worked with him, loved it. And then, however long later, I'm about to record these albums also in the same place. These songs, I mean, I don't know, who am I going to work with? Kind of thinking about different people. And he wrote me on Instagram one day just being like, man, I hadn't talked to him in years, but he's like, I just randomly decided to listen to our CD one day and I'm still so proud of what we made. I'm like, would you want to work with me again? And so we went in the studio, and he's an amazing player himself. He does all the percussion on there. You'll hear some background vocals from him, some other guitar work. The guy he's played from everyone from like Feist, Jonathan Thompson. He's played with a bunch of different artists, Grateful Shred.
Wow. Well, he did a great job highlighting, no pun intended, your vocals, and I love it. So that was Stick Around by Hilary Watson once again. We have more songs here, and the next one is called I Dream About You.
Ooh, I love this one.
So do you tell us a little bit about it, a little background maybe on the song before we, or if you want to just let, the music tell the story itself, you're welcome to do that too. But.
This is probably the first song. I wrote this one kind of during the lockdown, actually. I had been gifted, it was during the lockdown, I'd been gifted a while back a recording, I don't even know what we call those things, the preamps, quartet,
like an audio interface?
Yeah, audio interface.
Claret or something like that?
Yep, audio
awesome.
Interface, the Pregio quartet, something. Finally had the time during lockdown to figure out how to use it, and was messing around on Logic, and I just, I put this little beat in there that I thought was really cool. And so it's the first song I ever sang or ever wrote aside from my guitar. There isn't a whole lot of room for guitar in it. I wrote it all on, with a beat and a style, and I just kind of formed the song apart from my guitar.
Interesting. Well, let's take a look. This is I Dream About You by Hilary Watson.
When you walked away, it was the last of you I thought I'd see. You got some kind of nerve taking away your love just to keep on hanging around. And though I tell my heart to let you go, well, she keeps on dragging me down. I know you'll never be mine. Still I see you each night when I dream about you. Oh, I try. I can't get you out of my head. I dream about you each night. I wanna let you go. Instead, I keep dreaming about you. I dream about you. I know you'll never be mine. So baby, get out of my mind. You'll never be mine. So stop coming back. Stop coming back each night. I don't wanna dream about you. I gotta get you out of my head. I dream about you. Oh, and how am I supposed to get some rest when I keep dreaming about you? Oh, dreams, keep me in their light. Sweet dreams haunt me every night.
And that was I Dream About You by Hilary Watson here on KCAA Radio. I got a little bit of ABBA vibes there, which is definitely a compliment.
That's I've heard this.
I think it was the strings reminded me of Dancing Queen, which is an amazing song.
Okay. I can hear it.
But the vocals were different. They were a little more like kind of groovy. I don't even know how to describe. I love that though.
Thank you.
I'm speechless.
Thank you.
But that was another great one, and it has a totally, like, it still sounds like you, but it's a different sound from the previous song, the Stick Around, which is great to have a little bit of variety. There's some albums there's like every song sounds exactly,
right.
Like you just changed like the words but put them on the exact same song. It didn't sound like that, which is really cool.
Right.
It's good to explore different sounds and.
Yeah, absolutely.
So great job on that one. What'd you think, Eric? Shout out to our engineer here, Mr. Eric Rosario.
Yo, yeah, that was real nice. You said you produced that one yourself on Logic?
No, well, the demo.
Oh,
I wrote it on Logic.
Oh,
yeah,
nice.
no.
That's rad,
I
yeah.
could not touch that. That was all Omar Velasco magic. I would love to play you the demo so you could hear the difference.
Yeah, maybe after the show we can listen to the demo.
Exactly.
Yeah. But so the same Omar produced the whole
my whole album. Yeah, there's an EP. We'll listen. I think the one we have next is not on that album, but yeah, I did a six song EP with him.
Oh yeah, like Frank was saying, man, that production on the first track, tight. I was super stoked on those horns.
Oh my god.
I don't know if you guys saw me. I was booging. I was getting my boogie on. So
that's what I love to hear.
Exactly.
That's awesome.
Great jams.
Eric here is the host of Palm Trees in Progress Presents on KCAA Radio. Same time tomorrow, or are you on 8 or 7?
7 p.m. on Wednesday.
7. Okay, awesome.
Yeah.
So
Make
come
sure
back
to
in
tune in.
24 hours for
Progress
another
and
great
palm
show.
Trees. Is that what you said? Progress and palm trees?
Palm
Trees
Trees in Progress.
Yeah.
That's a great name.
Thank you.
I-
I appreciate it.
I might
agree.
take that for my next. That's a total IE name.
Exactly.
That's
Yeah.
He's a
IE
skater,
folks.
bro. I was telling him. Oh, go ahead.
No, I was just say cannabis. I think I was under some palm trees and some. I was under some cannabis, and I was like, yeah. Let me do something with this. So yeah, pretty IE and pretty SoCal.
I love it. I love it.
What were you?
4 years ago, or well, maybe it's more than 4 years now, but we would have been getting in trouble. But
No, yeah, I think we had Cannabis
Anyway, I
Corner on the
digress.
station. Yeah, that was like one of the shows before we were here.
Cannabis Corner.
Yeah. Cannabis Corner.
But yes, tune into a show. I was telling him earlier, if you look up on Urban Dictionary, Total Bro, you'll find a picture of my buddy Eric here.
With a nice little tall can and stuff like that in hand. Just having a good old time.
Do you have your ears tucked into your hat right now? I can't tell because you have headphones on.
No.
Okay,
My
okay,
hats are
okay.
too small to do that, or my ears are too big.
Don't get a big head there, buddy.
I'll try not to.
Okay. Moving forward, we have a music video from one of your previous releases. This was a single, I believe, correct?
Yep. Yeah.
And it's called Lie Awake.
Yes.
So talk a little bit about Lie Awake.
Lie Awake. So all these songs, the majority of them I wrote before 2020. I was supposed to record this whole thing as an album, and then obviously everybody knows what happened in 2020. So
We don't say well.
Nope.
No.
Nope. We don't talk about that.
We don't talk about it.
So, for unknown reasons, the one song I was able to finish during that time was Lie Awake. We recorded it all remotely, but it's still, I love the song. Worked with this trio, these 3 female vocalists. They have their band called the Rainbow Girls. So they laid down some vocals on this. I also have a horn section here that I love. And the music video was filmed at a family, the home my dad grew up in, that my sister now lives in. So it's a old Riverside house.
So
Tudor
that
style.
house, you lived in that house?
I never personally did, but
Oh.
my grandparents did,
Your
my
grandparents.
dad did, my brother did, my sister now
Wow,
does.
so it has a family history. I
Family
thought it was just a
history.
cool house you found.
It is a super cool house. Yeah, we were trying to find a place to film it, so we're looking at all these Airbnbs. The videographer and I were like looking at Airbnbs, and we're like, oh, that'd be awesome in Joshua Tree, this place. And I'm like, I don't know if this is cool enough, but this is my family house. And he's like, yeah, okay, we're filming the music video here.
Okay, that is. I had no idea that it was a family house. That's awesome.
Without blowing the spot up too much, can you say around which area of Riverside? I'm a Riverside
Yeah, Wood
native.
Streets, the Wood Streets, the
Oh,
old,
all right.
the cool
so,
homes.
Yeah. History right
Exactly.
there. Yeah, that's awesome.
It's like a 20s or 30s home or something like that. We kicked my brother-in-law, my sister, the kids out, and we just like cleared out the house. We moved all of the furniture out of the house, which took forever.
Ooh, awesome.
Yeah.
Okay, so here we go with Lie Awake by Hilary Watson.
When you call my name, I won't be around. You might think it's strange when you get what got a cold, cold heart. You got a cold, cold heart. You've got a cold, cold heart. You've got a cold, cold heart. Just like every other time you come and pull me to your side, but then you leave me in a spin. So stop before you begin another lie. You're no good. You're no good. Yeah. You're no good. You're no good. Hey. And I'm not losing sleep at night. Next to your heart is cold and stone, but you love living with your eyes. Baby, I'm not losing sleep at night. Next to your heart is cold and stone, but you love living with your eyes. So you can lie awake.
And that was Lie Awake by Hilary Watson. That was also the music video for those of our friends listening on the airwaves, 106.5 FM and 1050 AM. Feel free to check out the music video you can find on YouTube, correct? Awesome. Now, that was a really cool music video, and we were talking a little bit off mic during the video. That was super cool, and I noticed tell me a little bit about the style, like the fashion style you chose for that. You were telling me a little bit about it a minute ago.
Oh,
and
yeah,
how
you
it
asked about the
influenced
hair.
the message in the song. So it was a really interesting story. So I want you to kind of
Yeah,
go over that
absolutely.
again.
You'd said the hair looked like kind of a 40s
Yeah.
style, and I'd forgotten to that moment that when my stylist had asked about the kind of the song, how I wrote it, how I felt when I wrote it. I kind of felt like I'd come from this place in my life where I just like didn't have a voice, and I was kind of trapped in a place, and then feeling free from that. And so she sort of went with the like 40s housewife, like I'm trapped in this place. I maybe want to do something else, but I can't do something else. So she totally captured that with the hair and the dress and the style, and the house obviously is that time too.
Wonderful. And so I don't know anything about how to make a music video. So tell me a little bit about the process of making a music video.
Oh yeah, you're asking the wrong person. I have no idea. Like it seemed
Or
like a lot of
starring in
work
a
went
music video.
into it. No, it was fun. It was a lot of. I mean, for me, it was fun. Yeah, it was a lot of like. I was telling you that the hardest part of that video to get was there's this moment where I kick off, the telephone is ringing, and I like with my shoe just like kick it off the hook, like I'm not picking it up, I'm just kicking it. Well, I couldn't hear the music playing, but it had to be on beat, so it was like trying to figure out the little ways, like the little like how are we gonna cue her to do this in this moment. There's a lot of things of like, okay, how are we gonna get the lighting but not have it. I feel like videographers are just the ultimate like problem fixers. They're just like, we want this, but how are we gonna make it happen? And then we would sit around for an hour while the amazing crew would just be doing movie magic.
That's awesome. That music video was like, it was very artistic. A lot of music videos aren't as artistic as they should be, and I really liked that. I thought it was clever. It was good. I liked how you went. I liked the desert scenes.
Yeah.
Can you tell me a little bit about like what the two locations kind of represent and all that?
Yeah, absolutely. I think along the lines of what I was saying, just that feeling of the song, it's about like I'm in this relationship with somebody that's just cold and who lies to me, and I'm stuck and I'm just lying. I felt like lying in bed next to a person that is just, is like, you're so far away from each other, but you're literally lying in bed together and stuck in that relationship. And that was just kind of this feeling that I had in my life of like just being like stuck somewhere and then finally free to be like, I'm done with this. And to me,
so
like
when all of a sudden the light comes out.
Yeah,
and you come
exactly. You're in the Joshua tree.
trees
Yeah,
and,
exactly.
So that's kind of the freedom aspect, being
Exactly,
free
100%.
from the. Okay, I love it. That I love how much thought went into that. That's awesome.
That was all Trevor Hooper. He's the director, the videographer. He's a good friend of mine that does that. You can find his stuff. He's an incredible videographer. And
Let's give him one more little shout out here. What was his name again?
Trevor Hooper.
Trevor Hooper. Okay. So feel free to look him up if you want to get some awesome music video work going.
Music video commercials. I mean,
Commercials?
whatever you
Ooh.
got, he'll do for you. He's
Awesome. Now, Taking My Time is the next track on my list here.
yes.
So this is the title track of the album. So this one. So you talked a little bit about this is the beginning.
Mm-hmm.
But is there anything you want to add before we start?
Yeah, no, I said it all. Taking my time.
Okay.
This is my story right here.
Here we go. Taking My Time by Hilary Watson.
I had a man in Mississippi call me up and asked to give me a ring. He said, come up to me, baby, settle down, let's start a family. You know I love him and I told him so. But I had to let him know that I'm taking my time to go. 'Cause I was born 3 weeks late, but moving on my own pace since that day. I know the world's on a roll and I'm moving slow, but when I go, I'ma take my time. Well, it's been so long on the road that everybody wants to know, am I still alive? And the carburetor sound tells me my car is wrecking down on the 5. Hey, well, I know I should be headed home, but I love that open road. So I'm taking my time to go. 'Cause Mama told me I was 3 weeks late, been moving at my own pace since that day. I know the world's on a roll and I'm moving slow, but when I go, I'ma take my time. Tell you the time won't slow. It won't be long before the years start to show. You know I tell you the time won't slow. It won't be long before the years start to show. Hey, now, tell me something I don't know. 'Cause baby, the world can wait, but you can't move at someone else's pace. So when they tell you to fall in line, you just let them know you're doing right. But you were taking your time, you're taking your time, yeah, you are taking your time to go.
And that was Taking My Time, the title track off of Hilary Watson's new EP, Taking My Time, here on KCAA Radio. So I was complimenting the rhythm guitar on that song to you off mic here, and that rhythm was you,
That was
right?
me, yeah.
I keep forgetting to mention she's a guitar player. You could see it on the past music video, and you could hear it really well in that song. She's a very talented guitar player, and I'm going on a tangent here, but I play a little bit of piano, and I've tried to say words while playing the piano. Playing an instrument and singing at the same time is so hard.
He's laughing in there.
Because Eric plays a little bit of keys too. It's so much harder to like play. Because you actually, when you perform, don't you like play and sing at the same time?
Oh, yeah, absolutely.
Mad respect for that, because I cannot even like open my
there's
mouth
certain
one. I'm
songs,
just like
yeah,
hit the keys correctly,
Yep.
do not do anything else, and then I'll try and say something, or I'll try and sing. I play Mad World from the Donnie Darko movie.
Oh,
and
that's a good song.
I tried to sing it once. I'm like all around the doesn't work for me.
It's like the
so that
rubbing your
shows-
belly, patting your head.
Yeah,
kind of thing. Yeah,
it's-
exactly.
So you've been practicing. That's awesome.
Do you remember the day or what song it was that you learned to like strum and sing at the same time? Because I do know what Frank's talking about. I grew up loving Blink-182, so that was like a big. I had to do that. You know, that was like one of the first things I had to learn.
Right.
You know?
Small things.
So do you remember which song or like?
Uh-huh.
What was it?
It was Hey Jude. Hey Jude.
You don't forget
Which was
that,
like, it's very, what's that word? Syncopated. Hey Jude, ding,
Yeah.
ding, 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 which is really easy. But then they go the na at the end.
Yeah.
And that part would always just mess me up.
I was gonna say ska. Ska seems hard to play and sing at the same time.
I have never even tried.
Pick it up.
Yeah.
That last song you played was that we played for you was really awesome. I was getting like Dixie Chicks and Shania Twain vibes from that, which that do impress me much actually. Thank you.
Were you thinking that the whole time you were back there?
No.
That's good. That was good.
Yeah. But that one was maybe one of my favorites of. I loved all the songs, but that
Thank
one
you.
was one of my favorites.
Oh, thank you very much.
Yeah, that one. That one got a little more into the country genre, I noticed, than the
Right,
first few,
yeah.
which was really interesting. So again, it kind of deviates a little bit from the other songs, which is great. You're able to cover, but it still sounds like a Hilary Watson song, which I like.
Right.
It doesn't sound like you're going completely different directions, but you're exploring different sounds throughout the album, which
Right.
is really awesome.
I always think about like Linda Ronstadt or like Patsy Cline. I mean, those are like my favorite. Two of my crazy.
She's saying that a lot better than I just did. so.
But you listen to their albums and there's so much like there's horns, there's strings, there's this orchestra. There's really this kind of like you can see where disco got its influence, where soul got some influence. You know, like you could just see these multiple influences. So I'm always trying to capture that because I love all these genres so much. And at the end of the day, I just want to be a diva, whether it's soul or country. That's all I want to be. So always trying to like put those all into like one big package.
You do a great job at it.
Thank you.
I forgot to mention, after Stick Around, the whole time I was singing, it kind of reminds me of Soulful Strut by Young Holtz Unlimited, I believe is the artist. Have you heard that song?
No, I haven't.
You'll have to look it up. It sounds not a copycat way at all, but it's the same kind of style to me. The intro on that one,
Okay.
it's really cool. So you'll have to look that up.
Well,
I
what's
think it's
great
in
about-
the Parent Trap, the Lindsay Lohan one, like the newer Parent Trap. I think that song's in that movie, but I'll show you after the show.
Newer as in only like 20 years
Yeah,
old.
only like 30 now.
Oh God, no.
When she was still just a kid, and
Oh, jeez.
yeah, we just watched that at the park with my niece. They did movies in the park, and
Oh,
that's
yeah,
the
yeah,
park
yeah.
I actually met you at when you sang the national
Right.
anthem.
Yep. San Moritz or.
They were a little bit quieter after I've been there. They started turning the volume down, so I made a few people mad, but I digress. So we are getting into our last 6 minutes here, so we are going to end it with an outro song made by the wonderful Miss Hilary Watson here, and we're gonna go with "Tell Me Why."
Let's do it.
So before we go into "Tell Me Why,"
Do you want me to
tell
tell
me
you
a little
why?
bit about it. Yeah, tell me why. Tell me why.
Tell me why. No, it is not that song.
Not that song.
Tell me why is bluesy.
Bluesy.
This is like.
Ooh.
This is me. You know, it's funny. I feel like in life, I'm a pretty positive person. I try to be pretty positive, but all my sassiness gets channeled into these songs, especially this one. This is like all sass.
Okay. So we're going for the sassy song here. Tell Me Why by Miss Hilary Watson.
Can you tell me why I keep loving you, baby? Hey, I've been wondering lately, 'cause when the loving's high, I give you all my days. But when the loving's low, 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 I'm wishing for my grave. So tell me why I keep loving you, baby. now you wanna stay. So tell me why I keep loving you, baby. Sometimes your loving comes on strong, but I know that fever won't last long. Just like the sweet summer breeze, so good for now, but bound to leave. So can you tell me why I keep loving you? Tell me tell me why I keep loving Tell me why I keep Tell me why I keep loving you. Oh, can you tell me why I keep loving you? So tell me why I keep loving you.
And that was Tell Me Why by Hilary Watson. There's so much to talk about with that song, but we do not have time. We are down to our last 2 minutes here. I want to thank you, Hilary, for coming on.
Yeah, thanks for having me.
We haven't covered enough how people can find you. It is Hilary Watson. Her Instagram is Hilary Watson Music with one L, just like the hurricane, but she is not the culprit for that. Don't worry. She did not flood your basement, I promise.
I would have. I definitely would have.
She thought about it. Thank you for coming on, Hilary. And you've been listening to Highlight One Radio here on KCAA 1050 AM, 106.5 FM. And if nobody has told you this week that they love you, let us be the first. And thank you for listening, and have a wonderful evening.